people making those videos is the high energy level they seem to have. They seem to have a lot of energy. Oh, man. As you can see from these ancient videos that I've posted right here, I'm not a high energy guy. I can't talk into the camera for 5 or 10 minutes at a time without stopping. For me, the voiceover seems to be the thing that works best. And to do voiceovers, you have to think about what you're going to say. And lost my train of thought. I've been laid up with a bad foot since last October. I've been in and out of the hospital, in and out of rehab. So I started taking pictures with my camera phone. And I've posted on YouTube before, but never did too much with it. I'd post and then just leave the videos alone. Never got too many views. I think the views that are showing up on my analytics page are my views. But when I got home, I decided I would try in earnest to make a page about the things I was experiencing in my life. I chose the subjects of art and immigration. About how to make good YouTube videos. One person tells me if I like a scene from a movie or a TV show, to try and duplicate it or steal it. Another person says I have to have a niche. I hate that word. It's too bourgeois. It's like, I remember one time I used to call my trash garbage and tell everybody I was speaking quicksand. I have a niche. And nobody seems to understand it, especially like my family trying to hold this camera, right? But, I'm working with a cell phone. Anyway, art and illegal immigration. Oh, my God. What, is that a niche? Is anybody doing that? Is anybody, my mother doesn't understand it, of course. And my kids, my daughter thinks, the art that I produce is creepy. We come from a family of immigrants, right, on my father's side. My grandmother, my grandfather, I had 2 aunts, an uncle. My uncle's parents, they came to the United States. I don't know if they ever got their citizenship, but after my uncle was born, they went back, and that's where they lived for the rest of their lives. They didn't come back to this country, right? And no, we have on my mother's side. Yeah, I don't fully understand what happened on that side, but there was illegal immigration on both sides, right? Oh, my grandfather, he came to New York, got off the boat, and was not a citizen at the time and had no intention of going back. Yeah, he met my grandmother, your great-grandmother, and he got a job, They married, had a child, which was my father. And then somewhere along the line, they decided that they needed to go back to England so they could come back into the country legally. Yeah, he was totally illegal. And I learned that when I was about 14 years old. Yeah, my mom told me, my grandmother told me one day. We were sitting in her house alone. The doors were locked, the windows were closed, the shades were drawn, and she told me in almost whispered tones that he had come to this country illegally. He had lived here illegally. And then they went back to the other side, as they called it. And about 6 months later, he was able to get into the country legally and got his citizenship. Yeah, it's an interesting story. Of course, I don't know all the details. Right. My grandmother didn't come because she was running away from a bad country or a bad family or a bad, situation. She was, I think, looking for a little bit of adventure. She was 19 years old. I think she had one sister living over here somewhere. But I don't think she ever loved America as much as she loved England. And on many occasions, she would talk about going back. They never did. They went back for vacations to see her sisters. But eventually, all our relatives on the other side ended up dying, passing on, until the only person left in that country was my uncle, who came over. He retired from the job he had in 1985. Of course, because he'd been born in America, he was already an American citizen, so had no problems getting into this country. So he came over in 85 and lived here for the next 30 years before he passed. But as it stands right now, we have no relatives over there. But still, I've lived there for a few years. My son's lived there. We've all gone back, but we all come home. We all come home.